Afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing? 1:20. Where is everybody? Everybody's going to arrive at 2:20, aren't they? You know it's going to get... It's 2:20. There's about 100 people going to arrive. Am I early? I hate it when the clocks change. It's horrible. I know it's going to happen. I know the market is going to open in 10 minutes, but if this thing doesn't move in 10 minutes, I'm going to be like, oh, don't. Hate it when they change the clocks. Morning, Brian. Afternoon, even. Morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Afternoon, Seymour. Have you found that indicator yet, Seymour? Afternoon, Joaquin. Someone's mentioning in the Telegram group about these squeezes on the Swiss pairs. Quite painful, some of these. I think I have, just checking. Brilliant. Time changes need to go. I know, it's such an archaic thing, changing the clocks. There's absolutely no reason for it. The historical reason behind changing clocks was to help the firelighters in the Victorian times, when the guys used to go around and light the street lights in London. Yeah, there was to be lit. You know, it was firelight basically. So there was people that used to go around and light the fires and in the torches and stuff. The reason they did the clock changes was to help those guys. We don't like those anymore. We've had electricity for quite a while. I'm sure it's pretty much time we can get rid of this stupid bloody changing the clocks thing. Pointless. Afternoon, Diamond. Seymour, I did get ChatGPT to do some conversion for me, and it's produced something I don't understand. Yeah. I could very easily build the EA for you, Seymour. I just need that indicator. There's one indicator. Sorry, I'm talking about something that we're talking about in Telegram. Nothing to do with in here. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Right, so market's gone mental today. We've got no news this afternoon. No news today at all. The only news we've had today is we've had lots of news basically, but most of the news we've had has been some kind of news about them changing interest rates and changing forecasts on interest rates. But I always am skeptical about these. You never know where all this news is coming from. This is the market overreacting to this Silicon Valley Bank thing. We won't stop here. We'll carry on as necessary. I mean, the Fed and Biden are on the same side. They're not going to just go, oh, all right, we'll stop because the bank's gone bust. It's not going to happen. Eurozone money markets now pricing larger probability of a 25 basis point ECB rate hike on Thursday rather than 50. That's totally against what Lagarde has been saying. I don't know where this is all coming from. But unless Lagarde has secretly said something behind the scenes, and if she has, that's fine. She can do what the hell she likes. But she hasn't come out and said it publicly, and that's irresponsible. If she's going to secretly change her mind 3 days before a rate announcement, don't know. But anyway, if that happens, bye-bye euro. So yeah, we'll see. If that happens, bye-bye euro, bye-bye Swiss. Hello, CAD Swiss. Yeah, this thing go through the roof. If that basis point hike on Thursday is 2.5 instead of 5 here, if that comes out at 3.25, you watch this thing take off. You can stick a rocket under that thing and it ain't coming back. But we'll see. I'm not expecting it actually to power up. I'm expecting it as expected. It's what she says in the refinancing. It's what she said in the monetary policy statement in the press conference. That's what's going to kick the market into touch. Interesting now as well, right? The news now also falls over the US market open for the euro. So euro news we have normally an hour before the market open. Because the clocks have changed now, we've got that coming 15 minutes before New York Open, and that arrives 15 minutes after New York Open. So this is all going to be really impactful on Thursday. We're going to have a hefty old session. Sorry, it's another MT4. So yeah, we'll see. So, 4 minutes to the Open. Brian, like messed up fingers. Yeah. John Wick with messed up fingers. Afternoon, David. I had a lovely weekend. My shoulder's getting better as well. I've got my doctor phoning me at some point today, so if I have to take a phone call, I have to take a phone call. But he's not due to call until... Oh, there we go. It's not due to call until between 4 and 5. So, you know, doctors. Well, actually, I don't know any doctors, only my doctor. Usually pretty spot on with his phone calls, actually, to be fair. So, Big Papa, hello. Michael, hello. John, hello. So, this afternoon, NASDAQ. Going to pop over to the NASDAQ. So we've had obviously huge moves. We've got 150 ADR moves, depending on obviously your broker, but we've had very, very, very big moves on the NASDAQ today. All indices have been obviously collapsing at a rate of knots, starting to recover now. So earlier on, we started a little bit of a pullback, came crashing back down again with a flurry, and now we've pulled back straight into propulsion, which again, look, this is a beautiful propulsion gap. There's your low, there's your propulsion break, and there's your add in to shorts. So it's whether or not these buyers have got enough to do that at the open, or whether we are going to sell off. I mean, it's selling off at the moment. So all of these US indices, really, if you look at them on a higher time frame, it's very difficult to see where we're going to go from here. There's so many places on the NASDAQ that we could stop. The S&P, we're coming down to a very obvious support area down here. Christ's sake, give me the line. Very obvious support area down here. Anywhere in this area, potentially for a support bounce. You know, we're getting on for 225 ADR on the S&P now. The Dow is at 175. You've got to come out a little bit further on the Dow, but there's nothing on the Dow until we get down to that high there. You know, it's really tricky. These catastrophic sell-offs are so difficult to get back into because the volatility is so high. So really, we'll see where we go at the open. We've got 1 minute to go, 30 seconds. And yeah, I think I'm just going to have a crack at jumping on board with propulsion. So opening range breakout and the opening range breakout on the DAX this morning was like, if you held it, you've basically done your monthly target. But there's your 15-minute pre at the moment at that high and this low here. So I would expect a fast breakout the lows and see if we get any pendings trigger down there, any limit orders. But the gap fills are all done across the board. Just worried about being so unbelievably extended. Yeah, the market's open. Afternoon, John, Profstar, Philip. You should do a segment on risk on, risk off. Might be useful to new traders. I know nothing about it, Brian. I don't follow risk on, risk off, and never have done. There's loads of information on the web about it, but it's not something I pay any attention to at all. The directional bias for me is fundamentals, but obviously in a risk on, risk off, literally all you need to know really about risk on, risk off is that in a risk on environment, we tend to go into safe havens, gold, Swiss, yen. But you know, in my experience, I used to look at it, but what I tend to find happens is you get a risk on or risk off, and then you just suddenly go the other way very quickly. We tend to stay very much in one condition or another for a long period of time, but these kind of like these moves, they won't last. They usually get undone. But I just never really paid much attention to it because I've always been trading much shorter time frames with a bias. And at the end of the day, whether something, you know, is going to go, if if you're following risk on, risk off, that's your directional bias. If something is going to be going down because of a certain condition in the market, as long as it does that on the way down, it's fine. But what you tend to get is a big sell-off and then a big correction, and then you just go into normal structure from it. So I found it, there's so much you can follow. There's so much information on everything out there, and it is a minefield. You just got to pick something and stick with it. But it's not really something I've focused on, so I'm not best placed to sort of talk about it, really. So pre-market 15 is there. We've got no information at all at the moment. So let's just watch the Dow as well on the 5 minute. See if we can get any closer. The Dow's going long. Info overload, as Christians have said. Yeah, I mean, there's so much information on everything. You've just got to pick something and stick to it. Bias. Some people just don't give a monkeys about bias, and quite rightly so. If something's hit a support level, we've got an old support level there on an H4 time frame, and it's come down there, and it's a massive sell from fundamentals, and retail is saying you should sell it. You're in a massive downtrend like that. It's still going to bounce. You've still got an opportunity to long that thing. So if you're trading short time frames, bias, risk on, risk off, and trends, and all, it doesn't really matter. Mean reversion trading is about exhaustion pullbacks. So there is an argument for not using trend or bias or anything like that. But, this is what I say about this analysis paralysis. The more indicators you put on the chart, the more things you use for trend bias, the more analysis you will get that contradicts your analysis. And that is where you just stop trading. Like Christian said, market structure is king. If something's doing that, it's doing that. And it will do that until it stops doing that. And that's it. That's all you need to know. When you get in like that, it's either going to be, yes, you're going to get another leg, you're going to make some profit, or no, you're not going to get another leg and you're going to get stopped out. Or you're going to have to get in on the next leg down to scaling out of your position. Yeah, as long as the market moves like that, we're okay. It's when it moves like that, like some of these Swiss franc ones are at the moment, that's where you can't do anything about it. But as you just said, Brian, that could be because we're switching from a risk on to a risk off, or risk off to a risk on, or whatever. Either way, whichever way the push goes. But it always gets corrected at some point to some level. So 5 minute opening range is going in. We've not really got any direction yet. We're 150 ADR on New Zealand CAD. I think I might take that one off. Bank that. We're getting some wicks at the top, and I think we're probably going to get some reaction off this. I'm just going to close that New Zealand CAD out. CAD Swiss I've got as well. CAD Swiss I'm going to trail. So we were talking about trailing stops earlier. This is how I use trailing stops. Yeah. So we got 109 point roughly there. Yeah. So I'll put a 110 trailer on it. Yeah. So this is how and why I use trading stops. I want to get out of CAD Swiss. I've got a decent amount of profit. I want to stick it over there. So I'll put a trailer on it, roughly the size of the last big move, last big candle. So about that. And if this goes like that, fantastic. I make more money. If this goes like that, I want to be out. Yeah. So the only reason I put a trading stop on is if I'm thinking, right, I don't want to sit here and babysit this thing and watch it. I just want something to get me out of the market when it's ready. So that's how I use trading stops. It's just a way to get out, isn't it? I'm guaranteed to get out of that trade now. Okay, we're breaking to the downside. Should we have a listen to Tick Strike and just see see if we can get a clue as to which way this is going? Because there's not any visual real cues at the minute. That's your 5 minute, that's your pre-market. So it's trying to get out the lows on NASDAQ. your pre-market is long on the Dow, so no clues there. I'm worried we might be a little bit exhausted today. We're not actually going to make any moves in any direction because this thing's been absolutely shot today. We'll see. Okay, Dow's going long. I'm short on the Nasdaq. Here come the sellers. So what I literally going with the flow. The market's decided to break short. Trying to anyway. Dow was trying to get a reversal alert in. Agimat. There we go, sells. Okay, so let's see what happens when we test the lows. This is going to be 175 ADR. So this market is shot. But we'll see. I might just going to get the market watch open because I might. God, I hate MT5. I just really can't stand it. I've got 3 positions on. This is an aggressive short, basically 1.5%. So I just want to be a little cautious. If it starts to pull back, I may trash some of this. If we break that low and we get a flush, so there's a load of limit orders sitting here. Yeah. And those limit orders will have stops here, which will puke. So if we get a pop out the lows, we may well get a pullback straight up into there and then reverse. So I'm just getting ready to jump ship on the shorts just in case. I can't hear any selling coming in at the minute. So, normally at this time, we're hearing constant buying, constant selling, constant orders going into the market. It's dead. They're exhausted. They've just done their volume, I think. But there's every possibility we might just run a 300 ADR move today. So if we can get out these lows, and there's no buyers left in the market, the sellers, if they want to sell, they're going to have to reach further to find the orders, and we're going to get big moves because they're going to just run and try and grab whatever liquidity is available. But it looks like it's pulling back. There come some buyers. Okay, I'm just closing that out. Okay, I'm out of that. I think we're going to reverse. See how quickly that we had three lots of selling coming in, 3 blasts on tick strike of sell. And as soon as we stopped selling in the first ticks that came in, which were bullish, we undid 50% of that candle, like whoop, straight away. So there's no sellers left. They've sold out. Everybody's sold. Everybody's ready to get out, I think. So I don't like that short. I prefer it long. So I will take that pre-market 15 long there if it occurs. But I'm dubious about shorts on this. Took a little loss on that, not much. Like $30. Going back down again now, look. Okay, so we've got a reversal alert on the Dow long. We're pushing straight up into resistance though, look. So, you know, you're reversing straight into a brick wall, basically, aren't you? Difficult to tell. I hate conditions like this. When you get into a market, which is 170, you know, you're starting to trade a market that's 175% extended on the day, it's just at any moment they could unwind everything they've done. The trouble is we've got no news catalyst today to give us any indication as to when everything's going to move. So it might fall out of bed. If it falls out of bed further, and this would be probably the biggest day I've seen for a long time. Here comes some more sellers. Look. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay. Okay, and put a buy stop above. Oh, that's too tight. Hold on. Stop. Okay, go for buy stop above this high. Stop just under the lows there. So if they push down and we reject that level, I will get in when we break that candle high, and then I'll add here, remove out the top. Pure speculation as to this being totally exhausted for the day, and you know, we're just going to run out of steam, literally, and pull back somewhere into today somewhere. I expect we'll get a down day still, but just muck about around here somewhere. So I'm just looking for scalps really up into there. If that comes out the lows though, it comes out the lows, and if it collapses, it collapses. I've made enough out of this today to not worry about it, but had to step away. What did I miss? Nothing, literally nothing. We haven't gone anywhere, Brian. We're still where we were. The fact that Dow is not able to make any progress either. We've got 16 seconds left on this candle. The Dow's put in a new high and a new low. So we are kind of bullish. We haven't made a new low on the NASDAQ. We're an inside bar, basically. So there's no sellers on board. I can't hear any sellers. Can't hear anything. So I'll be more inclined to think we're going to get a W formation, but we'll see what happens when we get to lows. If we get to the lows, I reckon they get bought up. We'll see. Afternoon wealth tour. How many people have we got in here? 75. Come on, let's get some likes. We've only got 11 thumbs up. Here come the buyers. Right, so analysis-wise, just seeing what we're we've got a lot of buying coming in and just seeing how quickly we're making progress. I reckon it's going to be one of those sessions where our friend enters the building. Where has he gone? I haven't got him ready, look. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of these sessions today. I don't think we're going to see much of that. I think we're going to get a lot of movement, but I think we're going to get a lot of wicks. I think the market's just going to be taken over by algorithmic movement, which is very difficult to trade and very slow as well. So just getting in and sitting here for half an hour waiting to get up to possibly a double top, which you will probably want to sell. So I'm just going to give it 15 minutes to unwind, and we'll see where we go. But poised for longs. If it falls out the bottom, falls out the bottom. ADRs, we're missing some. It's the euro and the pound which are letting us down at the moment. So euro pound, euro US dollar, pound CAD, and pound US dollar are letting us down. We almost got a full house. I think it was once, maybe twice a year, I get to say full house. It's very, very rare I get to say full house, but we're very, very, very close today. Aussie New Zealand 125 ADR. All of this stuff today, just there's no point in doing any analysis on any of this. It's just catastrophic movement everywhere. No idea what anything's doing. Everything is just being pushed and pulled around all over the place. You can't pay attention to technicals because we've got fundamentals going on. You can't pay attention to fundamentals because the fundamentals don't seem to make any sense at the moment. So just today, try and keep your powder dry as much as you can, or get in with very, very low lot sizing, which is what I'm doing. Everything's tiny at the minute. Long on the NASDAQ. So yeah, just be careful. Red full house means fear. Yeah, at the moment, just, you know, these are all ADR reversals. Yeah, you can't mean revert a safe haven that is 225 ADR. You can, obviously. I mean, it is doing it. But when you get money moving into safe haven like this, it's very difficult to know when it's going to stop. And it's all down to the fear. You know, all it takes at the moment is we've got one bank that's tipped over. It's all getting propped up, no problems at all. If the CPI figures, Euro New Zealand 150 ADR, if the CPI figures come out tomorrow and they are negative, meaning that it takes the pressure off the Fed, all of a sudden you're going to get a weak dollar, which means you're going to get money piling into the yen, which means the yen is going to power up even more. So you try and mean revert these, you're suddenly going to, boom. Two banks now. Who's the other one? What other bank's gone? First Republic. Western Alliance. Oh, what's going on? First Republic Bank. What's that part? Is that I'm not familiar with that. Is that listed? Is that S&P? First Republic. So that's an S&P. What's the other one? Western Alliance. Whoops. Western Digital. West Rock. Okay, so the only listed one there is First Republic. Western Alliance aren't listed in the S&P, so First Republic is in the S&P. Still buying, still got lots of buying going on. So I'm long now, additional on that. So I just need to get ready to shut some of this. I don't trust this at all. I don't trust it. I'm going to close. What's got the closest? 119. I'm just going to get ready to close some of these NASDAQ additions because I got 1.5. I got 2% risk on, which is a little bit too much for this market. We're heading straight into resistance here. So I don't trust this. It's probably going to pull back, and I don't want this to reverse on me. Especially now we've got things like this going on with banks potentially being halted. The problem with this, what's happened with the Silicon Valley Bank is what it causes is a run on the bank, what they call a run on the banks. You've probably heard the terminology. What it means is speculators get jittery And what they do is they go, right, okay, well, what would happen to us if we were with SVB now? Oh, right, well, and the financial controllers will all say, well, we would be stuffed. We wouldn't be able to transact. Okay, how much of our business and banking is in X bank? And they go, well, 80% of it is sitting in there. Okay, draw some of it out and spread it. Spread the risk across different banks. So what you do is you get the banks having a run on them where a business will turn around to the bank and goes, we need to withdraw $55 million because we're going to spread it across 2 other banks to spread our assets. And of course, those banks suddenly have all of this volume of money withdrawn from them, which makes them insolvent on paper, which means that the regulators have to step in and go, you haven't got enough money to continue transactions, so you have to cease trading. When they cease trading, they can't make money. And it spirals, and this is why this is what happened with Northern Rock. You get a run on the bank. You have people queuing outside wanting to withdraw their money. These are business banks. You've got businesses queuing up wanting to withdraw their money, and it just basically puts that extra pressure on, and they go pop. If you get multiple runs on banks happening at the same time, the big banks tend to win. So when you've got this sort of thing happening, you know, technicals mean nothing. Fundamentals mean nothing. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. So I might just close this. We're running into resistance here, and the sellers are stepping in. I'm just hovering on the button, basically. Here you go. Sellers are coming in now. Just closing those positions out. Okay, so that's banked a little bit more. That's what tick strike's for, yeah? This is why I use tick strike when I trade futures. That is exactly what you use tick strike for. Get out. You can hear them. You can hear them coming before you see it on the candlesticks. So yeah, so that's it. That's quite important. Why is that not red then? I would class that as a pretty important news event, wouldn't you? Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, I might be going short again. Let me just. So I've got the EA running on this on the VPS, which is trading the 15-minute pre. I don't mind getting short necessarily down here, because if this if we trigger short here, that means that is not working. So it's quite likely that we're going to get that, which is basically pull back into resistance and bounce. We'll see. It's too jittery. I hate it's like it just doesn't feel right today. It just doesn't feel right. It feels sketchy, the market. Any thoughts on pound US dollar? Let's have a look. Just need to keep an eye on that as well. Let me just actually, what I'm going to do, let me just get that up on my other terminal over here. I can watch that on here then. Okay. Pound US dollar. So at the moment, I really couldn't really give you any analysis. It's going to be worth 2 hoots, because tomorrow it's all going to change with the CPI figures. But at the moment, pound is a short, US dollar is a long. So you'd be looking for short opportunities. And right now you are at a perfect spot. This is a triple top, which we have just attempted to run the highs on again and rejected. So we're now putting in an outside bar on the 4 hour. Yeah. So this is an indecision candle. More buyers coming in. So what we've had is we've had a push up into resistance. We've traded off of it. We've put in an inside bar, meaning that there was not enough buyers or sellers to make a move. Now we've put in an outside bar, meaning that there is volume to make a move, but neither of them can agree, which means basically there's not enough to try and run on the highs again, and we haven't managed to make a low. So if you really want to get into this now, it's very difficult to pick a direction, but I would be looking for shorts. So dropping down, you've just had a reversal this morning on M15, but it was really messy. We looked at this one this morning, didn't we? There's a reversal up in there on M5, which was really, really tight. It was here, that candle. So that was your reversal this morning. Obviously, it's painted another one now because we've gone into a range. So I would be looking for a short there, potential add there. This area has been tested once. This area hasn't. So this accumulation break here is your target, which is kind of 125 to 150 ADR to the downside. If you look at it on the hourly, it's clearer. There. Pop. So I'd be looking to target somewhere down there initially. It's range bound. You're at range high, so short. Fundamentals are all short. More buyers coming in. I should have stayed in that. Never mind. So yeah, pound US dollar is a short. The only trouble is at the moment, which is why they're probably struggling to get down, is we've got retail. All the money for retail is up at the highs. So if they need to fill orders, they'll be going up rather than down. So, you know, you can see all these wicks to the upside here. There's a lot of liquidity sitting up there. There's also a lot of liquidity sitting up there at the minute. Market is short on this already. So, tricky one. I'd be shorting it. Okay, make another run. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Higher high, higher low. Still bullish. I just haven't got any. I haven't got the kahunas this afternoon for this. It's moved so fast today. I really can't. I can't hold it today. I just got a feeling at any moment you could just get a, which I don't want to do. I don't want to be involved in. Protecting capital. Yeah, I've banked $700 today. I don't want to give it all back just because I'm trying to get that glory trade where it makes an absolute fortune. I'd rather just bank it and sit on it. It's too sketchy. Yeah, thanks for hello, Mohammed. Welcome aboard. The crazy train. Had to point on a good thing. Hi, Fletch. He's getting ready for movie premiere. Who is? I got to read that more often, quicker. Red full house means fear. Yes. Please give the analysis of gold. Going up and down. Gold. Moment. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. I mean it literally is. Wiki. The last hour has been very tricky. I'm short. Well, I'm not. I don't trade gold, but I would be short on it at the moment, especially now we've pulled back straight into the unemployment figures. So that support there. Yeah. Slammed. That resistance there. Yeah. If you draw that support resistance zone out, somewhere in there, I'd be looking for shorts for next leg down. That is on the assumption that the CPI figures tomorrow go up. If the CPI figures tomorrow come down, I think we could get extended all the way back up to here and potentially test that high. Because at the moment, there's a lot of talk about the Fed not increasing interest rates, but no one from the Fed has come out and actually said anything or put a statement on this. The market thinks CPI is going to come down tomorrow, in which case then the Fed is going to take their foot off the gas. But until the Fed comes out and says something, you've got to be bullish US. So right, let me just turn the crickets off 1 sec. Just wanted to hear the open, really. So right now, that's in perfect spot for a short. I really fancy that as well. We've had a reversal alert on M5. Just gone in. Yeah, so and then but look at the movement. Yeah, we're at 150 to 175 ADR. Absolutely everything is stretched to the nines at the minute. So anything you get into today, it is exhausted, and you're likely to get these big candles which are just going to go against you and kill you, or you're going to get huge wicks on stuff. While the market is illiquid, because all the liquidity has been driven through the market already today. So there's not a lot left in here. And we're going to get, this is why we're getting these, we're slipping. These guys that are wanting to go long, to get their orders filled, they can't get their orders filled here, which is what we normally see. We sort of see that sort of movement, don't we? They can't get their orders filled. So they're just going, I've got 250,000 contracts long. Where can we get them filled? Here. You just get these big candles going, which is lovely if you're on them. But also you get, it just feels, look, just feels jittery. Look at the size of the bodies and look at the size of the wicks. Just feels like it's a house of cards at the minute. I just don't like it. But I'd be shorting that. Looks like a lovely short. From a risk reward perspective, look. Got it on there. So from a risk reward perspective, you've got a long, a really nice potential. Don't want to go that close. Short play. If you go like a 2R on that, only takes you down to there. There's a gap fill to do on gold as well. Look. I think that's worth a shot going for that gap. We've got no news, have we? So you're looking for like a 175 ADR reversal after a 175 ADR move to the upside. The chances of the market having enough liquidity to do that today ahead of CPI tomorrow, I just don't think it's likely. I just think what you're more likely going to find today is that sort of stuff going to rotation. We'll see. Maybe it's going to be done one by one. They are greedy in the first place. Well, this is what I said this morning. This is what happened in the financial crash in 2008. One went, then another one went, then another one went. And like I say, it's the run on the banks. Yeah, it's the old Northern Rock thing. Yeah, you go to Google Images and look for images of Northern Rock, yeah? This is it. This is it. These queues. This is, at the moment, these business banks are all here going, oi, give me my money. Oi, give me my money. Admittedly, most of these are elderly people in the UK, which is a little bit different. And the police, who are obviously having to keep these elderly people under control because they're very rowdy elderly people. You don't want to mess with them. They've got sticks and stuff. But this is what happens. You get a run on the banks, yeah? So what they'll do is they'll go to these banks, they'll withdraw all their money from Northern Rock, and they'll go, right, Barclays, HSBC, Citibank, yeah? And then they'll grab another bank and distribute it. And all what happens is some of the big banks win, the rest of the banks crumble. That's what the financial crash is. It's just a run on liquidity, and there's nothing they can do about it. Apart from slow transactions, slow their transactions, slow the bleed rate, basically. I don't know if you've seen the film. I can't remember which one it is now. The Big Short. Yeah, they walk into the boardroom and say, right, by the end of today, I want you to have sold. And they go, how much? All of it. Because if we don't sell all of it, we're bust. If we do sell all of it, we're probably going bust anyway. Get rid of everything. That's what's happening. There's some of these at the moment. There's a panic on. So I don't think it's going to be as anywhere near as bad. In fact, I think it's probably just a lot of smoke and mirrors going on at the minute. The fact that we've got CFTC data delayed as well, something's going on, isn't there? We never get CFTC data released anything more than a week in delay. We got to 6 weeks behind on the futures market reporting. Something's not right, is it? Something's not right. Yeah, as Diamonds just said, but now so many transactions are electronic. People expect instant transaction. A bank run can be completely digital. Yeah, I guess it can. They can just, if you can log on, go and try and log on to those banks that are going bust and see if you can get onto their internet banking. I'd imagine the websites are crashing at the minute. But yeah, just steer clear of it at the minute. Wait. Yellen gave the okay for a bailout on depositors' funds. Yeah. Question: do you know who your brokers' banks are? Yeah, I don't know. All of your funds that in your brokerage account are segregated, so they are safe. Your funds are safe in the fact that they are covered, but obviously your broker needs to use that funds, use your funds to execute positions. So if that becomes frozen, I don't know quite what would happen with the brokerage. But again, these things, I get asked about these things all the time. Like, what happens if there's a black swan? Well, there's nothing you can do if there is. What are you going to do if there's a black swan event? Remove your positions before the black swan? If you could do that, black swans wouldn't exist. What if my broker goes bust? Well, take all your money out of your broker right now. What's that going to cause? A run on the broker. What's that going to cause? Your broker to go bust. Just sit there and wait and see what happens. I don't think this is anywhere near as bad as people are thinking, but hey, we may come back to this and watch this video replay. And I may eat my words end of this week. We will see. Okay, so we're just pulling out the support rectangle on the NASDAQ at the moment. This is a resistance sell. RSIs as well. Obviously, everything's extended on RSI. So, you know, if you've got ADR hits like this, you're going to get RSI hits exactly the same. So a lot of these are massively extended. We are starting to see some slowing in the Swiss franc at the moment as well, and the yen. We are seeing some slowing. Not a huge amount, but enough. I've got longs on 3 yen pairs now. Swiss yen being the better of 3, because obviously that's 2 safe havens playing against each other, really. Still bullish. Just about to get a reversal of that on the NAS. So NASDAQ at the moment, I'll be looking for a pullback into propulsion at some point. If I hadn't closed those longs out, look what you have to sit through, yeah? So I got in long here. That's the pre-market 15. So I got in long here. You have to sit through that rejection. And then the next candle, look at the rejection. And then the next candle's bearish inside bar. And then the next candle puts in a new low, which brings it back to my entry. For 4 candles, 20 minutes there on that entry, you're sitting there thinking this thing is going nowhere. And then all of a sudden you get that pop. It's very hard to sit through that, especially knowing that you've got a massive propulsion back gap to come and get retested. I'd much rather wait for that to get done, re-put those orders on and take that second break. So you're taking market structure long, if it's going to happen. So if it gets back down here, I'll get in long again. But I'm not going to chase this. It's just no point. Whipping post, I've answered that question. Don't know. Just activated reversal EA, much to learn. Yep. Not going to lie. Go to the EA page and watch the video there. So watch this one. And then watch that to understand the strategies. That shows you all the position trading strategies being executed. And this goes through the settings. There's 2 hours and 28 minutes of settings there, but you really need to understand it. Or the other thing you can do is go and read the manual. The manual's all online on the MQL5 site. So sentiment-wise at the moment, there's not a massive shift in sentiment. Let me just refresh it. Look, it's just wiki. We're seeing a lot of this at the moment, aren't we? It's just the market's struggling to do anything at the moment. S&P just filled the gap. Gap and go or gap and dump? Gap and go at the moment. The gap fill was this morning, though. You missed the. There's the gap fill. That happened pre-market. That happened in London on the S&P. Depending on what you're looking at as a gap. I don't know where you're seeing the gap, though. Can't see a gap. So sentiment-wise, still the market is massively long the Swiss franc. They are remaining long Swiss franc. sorry, long against the Swiss franc. So they're short Swiss franc. Obviously, they're longing everything against the Swiss franc at the moment, and obviously everything against the Swiss franc has been coming down. So I think what's going to happen with these positions is basically they are just going to start to play out for retail. However, at the moment they are just not. That's the best bounce we've had from retail. Everything they've just been absolutely run over continuously for the last 3 days or so. So we are starting to see a little bit of a bounce and a little bit more bullish price action coming in, but it's pushing back hard every time, isn't it? Very difficult to get any direction on these. At some point they're going to go, but don't know. So I would concentrate on the +6, -6s at the moment. So these are where we've got COT bias in line with counter retail sentiment. So longing Euro odd and Euro CAD. Again, this is just flagging at the moment. It's really ugly. It's just really ugly price action up here at the minute. So that's a good long opportunity. M5, Euro odd and Euro CAD. Not going anywhere today. Long entry was there. 125 US dollar. That's 150 on US dollar Swiss now. ADR. Let's turn that down a bit. US dollar coming down. That's why we're getting a bit of bullish price action. New Zealand CAD and US CAD for longs. So we got a bounce out of Asia, but again, not much. It's coming down now, isn't it? New Zealand CAD. That's a good one. So New Zealand CAD worked out beautifully this morning. So we've got 2 positions on that at the moment. And shorts Aussie US and Aussie New Zealand. Come down nicely. Aussie US. So that will be going the other way now because we've got the US dollar weakness, but we had a lovely short. Look at that short in London. Look, if you'd have taken a sentiment short in London, beautiful. It's all undone though. V-shaped recovery. Again, what we were talking about this morning. V-shaped recoveries. Very hard. All of this trade today. It's all a mess, isn't it? Everything's a mess. So many transactions. No. Going to watch the movie Margin Call. Margin Call. Was it Margin Call or was it The Big Short? It's one of those, isn't it? Margin Call or The Big Short, where he goes and says, sell it all. You need to start selling. How much? All of it. Looking to go long Euro Swiss. Support from November. 225 ADR. RSI exhausted. So that's where I'd be concentrating efforts. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Massively extended on the day on the daily look as well. We're likely to get a little bit of a pullback on that, but you got an ADR, 2 ADR drop yet to get down to that level. Afternoon, Luke. Or it's a wonderful life for a good old-fashioned bank run. It's a wonderful. Isn't that black and white? The almond. Inside bar, potentially starting to roll over back down into propulsion. Yes, I do think there are colorized versions, but it's not the same. Oh, Euro Swiss, not New Zealand Swiss. Oh, sorry. There you go. Well, New Zealand dollar Swiss. There's your analysis on New Zealand dollar Swiss. Euro Swiss. Yeah, good support level. All this area has been tested multiple times. So, but again, you got to ask the question: why is this euro collapsing? The market is forecasting Lagarde coming out of the blue on Thursday and giving us 0.25 when she has been saying point blank for the last month. It's a 0.5. We are raising by 0.5. Don't know what you're talking about. It's a 0.5. Suddenly, out of the blue, there's a 50% chance it won't happen. Yeah, I don't know where this is coming from, this information, but this is what is causing. I knew that was coming. This is what's causing this euro collapse. Look at that. Russian defense minister. Russia-China relations have become a pillar of global stability. Why are they saying that? Because the Chinese have said they're going to go and talk to the Ukrainians. And Russia are like, hang on a minute, you're our ally. Why are you talking to the enemy? This is not good. Someone's going to get very cross in Russia, aren't they, Putin? Wouldn't want to see him throw his toys out the pram. That would be dangerous. They're stuck in an accumulation. A minute. If anybody's got any pairs they want to look at, let me know. Just missed EU 5-minute divergence. See if you can get a retest on it. Well, we haven't had a reversal alert yet, so. Again, all of these euros that are dropping today, euro US dollars not because of the weakness in the US, but all these euros that are dropping at the moment, they're all leaving lovely propulsion gaps in their wake. Some of them. Targets for the upside, look. The Swiss franc is going to weaken at some point. Not that weak, the euro, actually, when you look at it across the board, look. It's not actually that bad. It's mainly the yen and the Swiss franc and the New Zealand dollar struggled against. That's a good looking entry, look. 150 ADR, Euro New Zealand on the hourly, dropped down to M5. Reversal alert's not far away, look. Mixed sentiment, mixed fundamentals. Retail are short. That's a nice looking potential long. I'm already exposed long on the euro. Oh, I'm tempted to take a short on this. I really am. I'm putting a sell stop. I'm just actually adjusting the sell stop underneath the low of this candle here. So this candle at the moment, we've got an inside bar, a lower high and a lower low. What I'm looking for this candle to do, if possible, is put in a lower high and then break. Nah, it's gone. Basically looking for a move back down into propulsion. So very quick short scalp, just a 1-to-1 or a 0.75 to 1. Just to quickly try and grab sort of like $100 or something. Okay, so it's rejecting those highs at the minute. So there's two things at play here potentially. Either we're looking at potentially that sort of movement, or, as I said earlier, that's current market structure. So market structure still needs a pullback to make a new long. So playing the short down just into there and then quick break even on it, and it could collapse and come back down and retest these lows, but it looks like it's going from where it is. So that leaves that in play. So that's still cancelling that pending. That's still in play for later on if we push up. But at the moment, that is your control candle. So this is the candle that was indecision. And at the moment, we haven't managed to break out of this area. So when we break out of this candle here, that gives us an indication as to direction. And we need to see whether or not, obviously, they're going to get some movement, which they probably won't. It's just not going anywhere, is it? Really, at the moment. Pound CAD. So pound CAD at the moment is a long. We've got a slight cop bias to the upside, but ever so slight. But obviously the pound is really a short across the board. It's not very good. Fundamentals are bearish, but you've got sentiment, retail sentiment at the moment saying to long it because the market is short on it. So obviously it's pushing up at the moment. Lovely support, resistance bounce. Is this not one we just looked at? Am I getting deja vu here? Have we not just done this? Yeah. Yeah. We're going to say a 15-minute reverse of that. Short now. Short. If we get a 5-minute reversal on the NAS, I'll probably start looking for long scalps. Yeah. If I still like this short, I'm just really tempted to hit the sell button on this and get in. 8.5. Looks like it wants to come and test. I'm going short. It's only 0.5%. So it's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. But I think we could potentially just come and retest this and close this gap. I'm not expecting much more than a rotation day, to be honest, at the moment. It may trend. If it does, it does. But looking at, since we had this push up here, we literally have had bear candle after bear candle after bear candle. Yeah, the bulls are just, there's no bulls in it. There's no bulls here. So it just looks like it's going to flush down into here. Then we'll see if we've got any buyers left in here, I think, but we'll see. There's a 50-50 chance. What's your opinion on CPI effect on Euro US dollar tomorrow after a rally on non-farm payroll and unemployment last Friday? I don't know. It depends what the CPI figure is. If the CPI figure comes out as negative, I would say that will take pressure off the Fed increasing interest rates, which will be bearish for the US dollar. If it's bullish CPI, will put pressure on for that 0.25 rate hike at the end of the month, in which case it will be bullish. But after what we got going on at the moment, you know, this is not normal. So it's very difficult to forecast anything with fundamentals at the minute until we know what the hell's going on with the market. The market's pushing and pulling money all over the gaff. So very, very difficult. But it really depends on the CPI figure, doesn't it? I would be, and again, you know, this one is a particularly difficult one because we've got all this talk about very, very, very fair. We've got all this talk about there being a reduced interest rate hike on Thursday. So that's going to be bearish euro. So if we get the CPI figures coming out as higher than expected tomorrow, I think we'll see a good strong push back down on this, because I think the market is ever so slightly going bearish on the euro ahead of Thursday, but I think it's going to get a bit of a shock on Thursday. I don't know. I've never had Lagarde. The reason I'm skeptical about these numbers is, first of all, it hasn't said who said it. Secondly, Lagarde hasn't come out and said anything about it. And thirdly, it's incredibly rare for the Europeans not to do what they say. Yeah, we've had it in one instance, and that was because we had some fundamentals changing around that time, and everybody was moving differently around July last year, and it was speeding up, and that was partly in response to what the Swiss did. However, there's nothing untoward now. I don't see any reason why Lagarde wouldn't stick by that. We're looking at a 4 to 4.25 terminal rate. We're at 3. We're at 3. It needs another 2 half-point rate hikes, doesn't it? Lagarde hasn't said anything different, but she could well come out and say something different. We've got, 3 trading days until that comes out. So, don't know. I think what you'll find probably is we'll do this for 3 days until we've got any idea. Actually, no, we won't, because we've got the CPI figures tomorrow, so that'll go one way or the other. But if you're going to trade the US dollar tomorrow, euro US dollar is not the thing to trade. Yeah, look at the buyer scorecard. Yeah, you want to be trading the US dollar CAD or the Aussie. Look for the extremes. Look for what is likely to move the most. Those are the ones you want to be focusing on. Long and short. Because these are going to get the highest ADR moves out of, this is currency strength 101. Euro US dollar is sitting in the middle range bound with no fundamental bias, no futures bias, no retail sentiment bias or marginal. That's not what you want to be trading. You want to be trading something that's going to move fast and hard, which is Aussie US or US dollar CAD at the minute. This short stuck. Here we go. Get ready to add. I'm getting ready to add on a break of this low here. I'm just watching it at the corner of my eye. Every time it gets near there, I'm thinking I'm going to do this, and then it pulls back again. Can't make its mind up. Brian, taking profit on Euro Swiss. Low getting rejected. Cool. Good man. After all. Afternoon all. I am late. Afternoon Nazir. Oh my God. Not going anywhere, are we? Another bearish candle. That's 20 minutes bearish in a row. If the bears can't make progress, I guess the bulls will. So I'll probably get stopped out on this. Seymour, a lower low, the old BBC drama about the French resistance. A lower low, good one. Rene. The old ones are the classics. Meow, you're in New Zealand, buy or sell? You can answer these questions yourself. Yeah, go to the website, go to the buyer scorecard. Type in euro. Short. Mixed. So the fundamentals are saying it's a short. There is no bias from the futures market in either direction. And at the moment, retail are short, so it's giving you a slight long signal. Long. ever so slightly long. And it's extended 150 ADR at support with an RSI extension on the hourly just about to trigger. I'll be looking for 5-minute reversal alerts on that. You will have had one today in the London session. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. This will be the first reversal alert. So again, if it keeps pushing down, just the support box will push down with it and just take the next reversal alert long. It's massively extended. ADR, RSI. There's no point looking at anything at the moment, is it? Look, everything is just extended and stretched to hell. So everything you take is a massive calculated risk at the minute. But I would go long on it. I'll be looking more for longs than shorts. Ahoy, Dances with Wolves. How you doing? I wonder how much Jesus made from buying the Dow. Oh, yes, from this morning. Jesus was buying the Dow. He said, Dow is a buy. Dow is a buy. Well, you know, he was calling it here, wasn't he? So he probably started calling it here as well. I don't know. Who knows? It's difficult on people coming here with their crystal balls. I'm going to get stopped out on this. It is bullish. It's bullish, but it's bearish. It's undecided, isn't it? It's annoying. This be what happens when you use stop losses. You get stopped out with a loss. Twilight Zone today. Yeah. Is Jesus N around? I need another prediction. I don't think he is. He was in the London session. He's probably not around in New York. He should have known beforehand. See, now what's going to happen is, now it's stopped me out. Now it's got me. The market is now going to go down. And it's going to put in a big bearish candle. I'm going to enter again, and it's going to do that, and it's going to stop me out again. And then I'm going to go long, and it's going to come back down and stop me out and do that for a bit before it goes parabolic. I miss the move, and then I try and catch the pullback, in which case the pullback turns into a short. Sound familiar? This is why you always have a 50-50 shot every time you press the button. Durpen, having a manual trade open, does reversal EA take this into its basket? No. So if you're using the reversal alerts EA, that only trades its magic number. So if you hover over your trades in here, you will see it says reversal alerts EA placed by expert ID 510. If you place a manual trade, I haven't got any. If you place a manual trade, that will be a 0. So it won't manage your manual positions. You have to manage those yourself. Which is why you should really have a VPS running, stick the EA on the VPS and let that just trade. Let it enter. All these trades taken here are all automatically taken with the EA. It's just managing them for me. Not my doctor. Okay, we've got a reversal alert to the upside now. So we are still inside here though, so be careful. We haven't broken out yet. Although we've got a reversal alert. What happens after a reversal alert often? We get a retest. That's not a retest, is it? We get a retest. So potentially pull back into propulsion and push back out. Struggling. It's already struggling today, isn't it? It's a bit of a mess. Some of these are working out, some of them aren't. Sentiment EA's sitting in 6% now, look, $1,500 loss. It is going to bank today, but it's going to sit in some drawdown. But there's nothing, look, in that list that's really catastrophic at the moment. We've got US dollar CAD sitting in 4 positions with 1%. We've got Euro Yen and Euro Pound sitting in 3 and 5 positions with 1.4%. So 3.5% of that is taken up in 3 positions. The rest of it's all much of a muchness, isn't it, at the minute? that will swing so fast as well when the market moves. But just closed 50 pips from longing pound Swiss, 15 minutes hit TP. Nice reversal alert. Again, that's the first reversal alert on today on that one. So we had this big, strong push down. So the support rectangle would have been sitting there. Yeah, so no reversal alert on it. We just flagged, came down, made a higher low. Again, so that would stay exactly where it is. Pushed down, made a new low, pulled back down the support rectangle, broke off. Beautiful reversal alert. 150 ADR. So that was your first signal long on 150 ADR on that. Really nice pound Swiss. So we are pushing back up against the Swiss franc at the minute. Let's have a look at the rest of the Swissies. So yeah, Swiss franc is starting to weaken. Look, CAD Swiss. So if you are looking for, here we go, CAD Swiss M5 reversal alert. So if you are looking for aggressive drawdown control positions now on any of these Swiss franc pairs, we're starting to move. We're undoing all these moves by the looks of things. The yen, I would imagine, is probably doing similar. Yeah, so all these yen pairs are starting to unwind as well a little bit. Not massively on the yens, actually. Swiss yen, you could ignore that one because there's fighting each other. Yeah, so I mean, that's been unwinding for the last sort of hour or so, isn't it? Pound yen's pushing too. US dollar yen, not so much. New Zealand yen. So all starting to unravel. Swissy particularly. There you go. That's a good example. So where that pound Swiss, we saw the same move on the pound Swiss, but the pound Swiss did that. New Zealand dollar Swiss, since we pushed down, literally all we've done is that all day. Now we've finally broken back out above that propulsion move. So continuation out of there somewhere. But ugly market. You know, when you look at indicators and you see things like that, where you've got pretty much an ADR before you get a reversal alert, you know, just this should be an indicator to say, this ain't right. If this ain't right, stay out. Because there's absolutely no way of predicting which way anything's going to go on this. So you just stay out, sit back, wait for it to calm down. It is as well, look. Told you. Look, stop me out, come back down. Dodgy, very dodgy today. How to get reversal alerts in MT5? I always miss them because I can't hear a sound. How to get reversal alerts in MT5? What you mean sound? So you just go to sorry, indicators. You just go to alerts. Where's the alerts? Oh, sorry, up here, alert settings. And just enable pop-up alerts, and that will just signal the, you know, the pop-up alerts you get. You can have email or push as well, but pop-up. And that will then alert you when you get a reverse alert. Or get the dashboard, and the dashboard will just alert you to every single reverse alert. So if you get the dashboard, that monitors all different time frames, and you can pick which alerts you want, whether you want to have reverse alerts or retest alerts. Okay, I'm putting 2 orders in the market to go short. One under there, one under there, to see if we can get a run on the lows. If we can pop that low, we will get a flush into there, and that's where I'll exit. So I'm in short 1. Stop above this control candle here, this big wide candle. We haven't got out of there, so that's a safe stop. I want to be out if we break that because I'm wrong. But what I'm looking at now is getting this reversal alert and retest of the reversal alert. So I'm trading into the retest, then potentially out of the top from there. Swiss franc, which one is that, kindly? What? This is, what do you mean, which one is it? Swiss franc, this is CHF. Is that what you mean? New Zealand dollar CAD against the Swiss franc. Sorry, New Zealand dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc. I've got New Zealand dollar CAD on my mind for some reason. Maybe I should be trading New Zealand dollar CAD. I'm not. Okay, short 2. Oh, no, I didn't get my second position on. I've got a margin, have I? What? Why don't you let me have that? Oh, you git. Just didn't have enough margin to get that second position on. I'm probably going to actually not regret that in a minute as we just basically sit down at these wicks and buy them back up again. But okay, adding another sell stop underneath the low. See if I can get a second position gather on. It's all dependent on how much drawdown I've got at the time because I've 1 to 10. 1 to 10 is just not, you can't do anything with 1 to 10. It's awful. This is why I don't trade with Darwinex anymore because I get 1 to 30 leverage. It's just not enough to get any positions on. This will probably not trigger because I haven't got enough margin available to get the trade on. Got less drawdown now though because I'm more in profit, so I might actually get enough. It might just have enough to get me on. See. John, using your recommended lot size and entry distances, would position trading still be profitable if one immediately closed all trades that hit 3% drawdown? Also, how frequent are 3% drawdown per trade? I don't know. Couldn't answer that. Would position trading still be profitable if you immediately closed all trades that hit 3%? I don't know how you can test that. Closing that. That's rejected. Cancelling that pending. Just taking a small loss, very small loss on that. We've got loads of alerts going off. ADRs on US dollars. So these are US dollar CAD, Euro odd, New Zealand US, Euro New Zealand. So stuff's moving fast all of a sudden. US dollars coming down hard. That's why we're seeing that push. Look, US dollars coming down, indices going up. Yeah, I couldn't answer the question. I've no idea. You'd have to somehow backtest that to answer that question, John. Again, you know, my recommended entry distances are half an ADR to an ADR. You need to test both of those, and you're never going to know because you're never going to know what your entry distance is. Your entry distance is determined with the market reverse alert EA on where the reverse alert happens. If I recommend you get in and you get in roughly half an ADR apart, if it happens to be 0.75, 0.75, 1.5, how are you going to backtest that? You can't see what's going to happen in the future. There's no way of predicting the future. You have to manage it. You can't, and you know, if you closed every position that hit 3%, how much have you made? Is it profitable? Yes, it's profitable. If you've made 25% this month and you've got 2 that hit 3%, yes, it's profitable. If you've made 6% this month, you've got 2 that hit 3%, no, it's your break even. You know, it's impossible to answer. Which pairs are you trading? How many pairs are you trading? You know, there's so many variables. You get in, you manage it, and that's all you can do. This is getting a little bit more twitchy now, a little bit more erratic. We got a fair bit of movement coming in on the US dollar short look. So this looks like a long to me. at the moment. I'm just going to go long one. Trade US CPI with us? Oh, for Tuesday at 8. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say, you're a little bit early, mate. But okay, if this one stops out, I'm going to stop. This is just turning into chop today. Chop, chop, chop. What about CPU hunger with the dashboards? Again, how can I answer that, Durpin? I don't have a problem. I'm running an i7. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4 MT4s on here. I'm running 1, 2, running 3 dashboards, 4 MT4s, and I'm absolutely fine. How big is your CPU? I don't know. How many applications have you got running? What RAM usage have you got? Again, there's no way of answering that. There's no minimum specification. It's MT4. All you're doing is loading an indicator. So the more the better, really, is all I can say. With all the dashboards, they operate, RSI dashboard, for example, operates basically on the lowest time frame. So this is checking every hour. So it's only doing stuff every hour. The trade manager dashboard is running constantly. ADR dashboard is running constantly. So each has got different power. The market reversal alerts dashboard runs every 5 minutes. Feeling a little loony. Bad joke. Yeah, that is a bad joke. Tadpole, 116 watching, only 339 likes. Hit the button. 43 likes now. There we go. 44 likes. Keep going. Let's see if we can go. We've got 125 people in here. We should have at least 100 likes, shouldn't we, really? If you like it, obviously. If you don't like it. I'm going to add, if we break these highs, looking for a target up the top. I'm not convinced we're going to get out of here, to be honest. I still think we're coming down here at some point, but as long as that US dollar is coming down, we should rally. So all the US dollar pairs are falling out of bed. So even the US dollar yen, look, the yen's weakened, so pound US dollar will be pumping. I missed some follows, didn't I? God, I've missed a few follows, haven't I? Nazim Hussain, welcome aboard. SCSS. Praveen Kumar has also subscribed. Aussie dollar, US dollar is just coming up to resistance. So some of these US dollar pairs are running into trouble, where we might find a bit of a reaction, but we'll see. God damn it. What's that? Aussie US. Aussie US. Yeah, my Aussie US is about to hit. Oh, God's sake. My Aussie US is about to hit its stop. This is really not going anywhere, is it? Look, see, right idea, wrong execution. It's just a mess. I don't really want to trade this afternoon. It's just a mess. I'm going to leave this long on. TP in propulsion. So if this works, which it doesn't look like it's going to, it looks like it's going to come and do this. So again, this is prime example. Yeah, when you're scalping, when you're getting in, where is it going? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. Well, at the moment, we've got a potential to push up to there, or we've got potential to push down to there. There's a 50-50 chance. So if you're going to position trade it, you enter a second long there and get out up there. I'm not position trading because I've got too much risk on, but up to there and then back down to there. But right now it's just doing that. So I'm going to leave this on. If we break that low of that candle, I'm out because we're coming down here. If we break the high of that, we're going to come and test that high, which is basically that resistance. So we will probably run that high, in which case we'll tap into that propulsion and they'll either sell out of that or we'll slam through it up into there, which means we're testing the high of the day, which means that every move that we've had today, which has been all to do with all this sell-off and all this crap to do with SVB, is completely rubbish and we're back to basically highs. Yeah, see what I mean? It's just market is panicking and then going, it's not that much of a panic. Stopped out. I'm going to give it in there. Not doing any more today. This is just a kangaroo session, so absolutely pointless. Just giving it all back. It's just going to play these lows. Look, it's just a mess. Wiki mess. No, that one. This is what I'm. This is angry John Wick. Yeah, give up with that today. So yeah, so basically everything you see is just stretched to hell. So everything's got every opportunity to mean revert from where we are at the moment. Everything's extended on RSI to some extent, most of it. Everything's extended on ADRs apart from 4 pairs, euro pound, which is getting closer. Look, it's getting closer. We're not far away from euro pound hitting ADR. We're retesting these lows again. But look at it. That's all we've done today is sideways on a lot of this stuff. So I would give it today and just give it time to settle down. Wait for the CPI figures to come out tomorrow and just monitor to see if we get any more news coming out about what's happening with these potential troubled institutions. Yeah, and all we can really do is wait for everything to calm down at the minute. It's not worth trying to push anything. Unemployment, CPI tomorrow. Before I come on tomorrow morning at 7:50, we've got the pound claimant counts. Again, doesn't tend to do an awful lot, but we do get movement out of that. So there is a potential for some movement on the pound tomorrow morning as well. So if you've got any pound pairs on at all, I've got no exposure on the pound at all at the minute. Just keep your eyes on those. Look at that. Look at that for stop outs today, yeah? So the one, I got that one. So I got that short, which I got out beautifully. Tick, well done me. We got flip long, beautiful. Could have stayed in longer, but John Wick entered the building and I got scared. Shorted it down to propulsion. Stopped me out, immediately turned around, got in short again, got scared, decided to flip long, stopped out. Now it's pushed back. Yeah, you can't trade this. The only way you can trade this is by having rock solid golden balls and doing that. And at that particular moment, you're on the verge of a breakout because we've been in an accumulation for an hour. So this thing's ready to pop. Yeah, it's very, 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 very hard to trade these sorts of conditions. You just have to look at it and go, nah, you got me. Done. Every time you think it's going to break out the highs, it decides it doesn't want to. See if we can hear any volume in the market. See if it gives us any ideas. But Euro's coming down hard. US dollar still pushing down. So we still looks like we want to go long. But look, it's rejecting again. Look, down at the lows. US dollar pushing back up again. Pound US is still going. So we've still got a weak US dollar, which indicates long index. So yeah, we should be going for a breakout long. shouldn't really be taking any shorts. So I'm doing the right thing. Just execution's just not there. Look at that, struggling at the highs. That sellers absorbing all that buying liquidity. It looks like we're going to pop. If we pop, we're going to pop fast and hard. It's going to go straight out there. That's where everybody's setting into. And we'll get a little pop if they break those highs. Here we go. No, look, there's an iceberg order sitting here. Look, somebody's sitting there with hundreds and hundreds of contracts just going, nope. Beat coming through here. It's like a bouncer, iceberg. Futures market, call them icebergs. Big sellers, tons of contracts. You want to, here we go. He's going to get absorbed. Look, watch this. Pop. Here he goes. Here he goes. Oh, he can't get there. Look. What a fight. Someone's going to lose big style in a minute. Either this lot are all going to get their lows taken out and they're going to puke and it's going to flush, or this guy's just going to give up and go, nah, you win. I'm glad I'm not in that. It's painful to watch. Look. It's just painful, isn't it? There we go. Some more big bull order came in there. Why are we not hearing this? Financial Juice has a problem. If you pause this, it tends to... I used to have Tick Strike, but this is the free version, so obviously you get what you pay for. There you go. Here come the buyers. That was all happening. It's just what needed a refresh. Oof, struggling, really struggling. There's not enough sentiment in the market. This is the problem. This is why you get these formed. This is all algorithmic trading. This is just the algos buying and selling, just making money basically in here. The sentiment, the traders that are looking for money to be made by getting moves are just not able to beat the algos back today. There's just not enough volume in the market really to make any solid movements. Yeah, they want to buy up here and there's just nothing to, there's just not enough buyers sitting in the market to beat the algos. They're just holding everything in place, which is why you get these ranges formed. And the algos are building books in the middle here, and they'll just take it one way or the other when they need to. Here they come. So that's absorption. Massive buy orders entered, no progress. So the seller, this iceberg order that's sitting here, is just absorbing every single buyer, saying, yeah, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Eventually, he will either get run over and puke and you make a loss, or everyone will go, we've run out of steam, we can't make it anymore. We'll flurry back down. Everybody stop triggers down and we go. And the guy that has been sitting here as an iceberg hitting the ask there will just basically win and flush, and they will make a ton of cash. Can't trade it as retail, it's just pointless. Gold sell is not looking good right now. Here come the sellers. No, it won't do because US dollar's weakening. So it's still in the support, in the resistance area though. Look, anywhere in here. It's massively extended, but all the time the US dollar's weak, all the time that's happening, that's going to continue. Here comes the next batch of buyers. They're really having a crack at him, aren't they? I know who this is. It's this guy, look. Where is he? It's this bloke, look. This is the iceberg order sitting there, look. He's like, John Wick's hitting the buy button. This bloke's going, nope. John Wick's going, I've got a goat. How can you possibly beat me with my goat? It's meant to be a dog. This is all for anybody that's in here going, what the hell is this bloke on about? This has all been created by OpenAI. So I asked OpenAI to create John Wick trading stock charts, and this is what it came up with. And then I asked it to do it again, and it came up with these. So this is with his dog. I said I wanted his dog in it, which weren't as good as the originals. So we decided to pick this as John Wick doing his analysis. This is John Wick winning the market. This is John Wick blowing his account. That's the best one. Can't get through there. Just leave this today. Go and do something else. It's pointless. Nasir, buy US dollar, pound US dollar. From here, you're buying pound US dollar from here. You're buying a breakout, aren't you? Basically. You know, 80% of breakouts fail. Just letting you know, the odds are not against you. The odds are forever not in your favor, as they would say in Hunger Games. You're up at ADR as well. Oh, listen to that. Here they go. They've got him. Look at that. There you go. There's a pop, right? So that was that iceberg getting crushed, whatever you want to call it. So they basically run this guy over, and you get that little pop basically at the top, which is basically all of his orders. He's basically puking on the order. Basically, his stop's triggering. He's going, boom, out of my position. To get out of his position after all these contracts he's sold, he needs to become a buyer. Because obviously, if you're selling, to get out of a position, you need to become a buyer. So what he does is when that triggers, he basically fuels the move up, and we get a pop at the top, which is a quick move, which basically absorbs all of his selling orders, basically, and he becomes the buyer. So now that frees us to start market structure to the upside. Or the other case is the amount of strength it took to get through there. Basically, these buyers have now exhausted all of their liquidity. They will start to exit their positions and take a quick scalp. And to do that, they become sellers. As soon as we see that false breakout, the sellers step in and drive it back down to there. One of those two things. That's how you plan your trades. Yeah. What are we going to do now? If we're going to be long, fine, we're going to hold. We expect this to hold this level. So we should pop. We should get a move to the upside now. If this is a false breakout, we're going to take a short somewhere down here. We're going to put our stop up there, and we're going to target the propulsion move. Make a decision one way or the other. One of them is guaranteed to happen. Not much help, am I? I got wrecked today, Kenny. Oil is weird. We haven't looked at oil for a while. Let's have a quick look at oil before I disappear. Oh, blimey. Wow, that's really fallen out of bed, isn't it? Okay, so that's broken down below where we were expecting. Buy it. Buy the crap out of it. Look at it. Yeah, they bought the crap out of it. Missed it. That was a perfect buy there. Look. I don't think you'd have got a reverse alert on that. Oh, you did as well. Look how tight it was. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Missed it. So oil, we're looking for 107 by end of year. 85 is the interim target. Somewhere up there. So basically, we need to break these highs. When we break these highs, we're going to run out of steam and going to run into resistance. We'll probably pull back from there, and then next leg up. So 85 a barrel is where I would sort of look if you're going to get into this. But every time we do a run on this, every time we look at structure, attempting to make new highs, we fail. And then we go and make a new high, and then we fail. And then we tend to have run up, don't quite get to the new highs and fail. But that market structure there, look, should have been a new high. Didn't make it, failed, come straight back down. So literally all we're doing is bouncing inside this range. They're holding all where it is. You've kind of missed it. You're halfway in the range now. That's your target. So you still got a target, but you can't use a stop like that, can you? Missed it. Everything's weird today. You know, it's like you say oil's acting weird. This is not normal for a Monday, is it? 225, 250, 275 ADRs on a Monday when there's no news. Nothing's normal today. Just got to sit back and go, right, reset, wait. Volatility is up massively, so we need to wait and see where it's going. Brian, still think he's trading livestock futures? Yeah, he probably is. You know, he's buying and selling goats. And what looks like potentially buffalo. It's a really bad dog. We've got the rejection at those highs at the minute. Look, 125 ADR. So watch that high and watch that high. Got this propulsion gap here. So this is the breakout. Yeah, so this candle here made a new high. So this would be where the buyers that caused the breakout and beat that whale, beat that iceberg, that is where we would expect them to add into their positions if they're going to continue the market long today. If that's a false breakout and they've exhausted it, that will get run over and will tend to head back down into this. So you could buy in here with a really tight stop and retarget the high. That's a 2-to-1. If you get a breakout above that, it's whatever it is, isn't it? I'm not interested though. It's annoying me this afternoon. I'm not playing with it anymore. Afternoon, Stevie. A little bit late. I'm just about to go. A little bit late. So I'm just going to leave this afternoon. This is all too volatile. So it's all too wiki, rather. Everything here is an extension, and everything here is an extension, as we know. Everything is stretched to hell. We've had lots of money into the Swissy, lots of money into the yen. That is all highly likely to unravel. However, it's not going to unravel if the CPI figures tomorrow come out the wrong way. So at the moment, we've got a weak US dollar. If we get CPI figures negative, we're likely to get a weakened US dollar tomorrow as well, which means that the yen will probably power up again, the Swissy will probably power up again, and the stock market will have a little bit more of a rally. But we will see what happens. So we can't really make any decisions on direction until tomorrow afternoon. And then obviously we can have a look at the fundamentals, have another look at the scorecard and see what impact that's had. But at the moment, US dollar is still along, and we are still expecting the CPI figures tomorrow potentially to come out as negative, but how much will decide on whether or not the Fed decides to go with that 5 or remain at 4.75. We've got nothing from the Fed. Here we go. Say that, we've got nothing from the Fed just as they start talking. February 5-year ahead expected inflation is 2.6 compared to January's 2.5. That's February next 5-year ahead. Jesus, that's a long way ahead. Inflation is expected to remain stable at 2.7 over the next 3 years in February. Year ahead expected earnings growth 3%. Inflation is expected to be 4.2 in February, year ahead down from 5. So they are expecting inflation to come down faster than expected, which takes the pressure off of putting interest rates up, which helps the unemployment market, which will mean a weaker US dollar. Expected inflation lows, lowest February year ahead expected inflation lowest since May 2021. So yeah, key tomorrow. Euro odd 150 ADR. Blimey. Can't do anything with this, just nuts. So yeah, see what happens tomorrow. Steve, you've been sitting out here 29 degrees, is it? Ugh. Good for you. Luke, break-even day, good enough for the conditions? Absolutely. I'm very, very happy to have squeezed, wrong account, very happy to have squeezed out $500 on the prop today. I think that's pretty much a result compared with what we've had. But I missed so much this morning on the DAX, so much. So yeah, unfortunate my DAX this morning. Got the gap fill. Had no inkling we were going to completely collapse. So now what you can do about that is that keep printing money. Brr, yeah, Fed printing money. That's all they do. 3 o'clock, so it's 3:11. So yeah, the Fed is still potentially releasing information. So keep your eyes on this. We are looking a little bit bullish still on the indices. That's the FTSE. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there we go on those highs. Heading up there. Then see what we get from there. Got 2 targets to the downside now to aim for. Yeah, so you can't make it up, can you? Look. Thanks for the follow, Simon. Simon what's that? Warunge Thuo. Good name. So basically, we are back where we started. So all this kerfuffle today, total load of rubbish. Not real. Right, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, same time. I've just got stopped out of something else. What was that? Aussie US trade. Oh, come on, MT5. There we go. Stopped out on that one. 150 ADR. Stupid moves today. Yeah. Remember I was saying this morning, I'm using 1 ADR stops because it's highly unlikely you're going to get a 1 ADR stop triggered in a day. Pretty much everything's triggering today, isn't it? It's just one of those days. It's like last week. One of those days you can't do anything about. The market is just off its head. So, did you find out when you can take profit on the new Fivers program? Not for a while. I've got 3 stages to get through yet. I don't know. No, I think it's 11 days in you can take profit. Yeah, I really need to get some. I need to get a run. I'm finding I'm struggling with this because I'm just struggling to get anything on because I got 1 to 10 liquidity. I'm finding it a real struggle. 1 trade and I'm pretty much margin called. Yeah, you can't take if I take 1% risk on 2 positions, I won't get the second position on. So I can't add into any trades. So, I get a nice short started, try and add into it, and it goes, no, you ain't got any liquidity. You've got no margin. I'm like, oh, how do you expect me to add into a winner when I've got no ability? So you've got to concentrate, really, I think, on either single instrument or scalping or using wide ADR stops and getting into multiple trades, which is kind of trying to use a combination of both, but it's not working. I'm just struggling to get trades on. This afternoon, I had a lovely NASDAQ started. It pushed down. I couldn't get my second position on. It's the difference between banking 1 or 2% and getting stopped out of break even, getting your second entry. It's just, you can't. I don't know. I'm loving the program. I'm just hating the liquidity and hating the fact I've got to use MT5. It's driving me nuts. But, it's because I'm old and I've been using MT4 all my life. But anyway. Right, I'll be off. I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time, or tomorrow afternoon at 1:20 for the New York session. If there's anything you need, I'll be in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow and see if we can milk the DAX again and see what happens. And we'll try and unpick today. We'll have a look at everything tomorrow morning and see if we can figure out where everything is and where everything's likely to go ahead of CPI. And then obviously tomorrow we got the CPI at 12:30. So I'm going to come on at 1:20 at the same time. I'm not going to trade this. I've got a feeling we're going to get some shocking moves off of this tomorrow. So I want to sit and watch and see what the market makes of it. All right. So I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:20, same time. 7:50 UK for the DAX session. And then 1:20 for the New York. Have a good afternoon. Hopefully you can make some money.